Thank you all for adding me to the agenda today. I appreciate that very much. I have here with me Mr. Willard Herrod. Mr. Herrod is the heir of an estate that's been open in Doddridge County for about 26 years. There was well, I'll start from the beginning. Mr. Herrod's mother died in 1986, on May 22nd, 1986. Her name is Fannie M. Herrod, and her will was entered and made part of the record here in Doddridge County. It's located in Will Book 18 at page 238. In the codicil to her will, she asked that Edward Herrod be appointed the administrator of her will, and he was appointed. And the last action that actually occurred and is on record here in the county was an appraisement that he had done, which is an appraisement book 17 at page 391 here in the county. And Beth, if you're taking notes and you need me to slow down or repeat any of that, let me know, and we'll reconcile that. But that was the last action that was taken in the estate. The estate has never been closed. It remains open. And the problem is that Mr. Herrod, as one of the heirs that is named in the will, has tried to contact Mr. Harbour over the years. I believe other of the heirs have as well, and they've never received an accounting of the estate. I think the personal property, the family farm, has gone for back taxes a few times, and Mr. Herrod has provided the funds to Mr. Harbour to pay those taxes. And recently, Mr. Harbour negotiated a pipeline right-of-way. Construction has occurred on the property. The heirs were not part of that decision, and while it's not a concern of the county courts as to whose decision that was or who had the discretion was at that time, at this moment, we contend that he did not. So essentially, there's some issues with waste and issues that are going on with the property. So we're here today. We filed a petition on Monday, and we're added to the agenda the 3 days ahead of the meeting on Monday. I can provide you all a copy if you don't already have a copy of the petition that we filed. Okay, that's okay. I've got extras here, which we're essentially seeking based on the code, and I'll go through that with you if you want me to ask that Mr. Harbour be removed. And according to the state code, which I'll go through with you, you all do have the discretion to make a removal, because the statute basically goes ahead and says that if an estate is not settled within 5 years, that the executor should be removed. Okay, and that discretion is under West Virginia 44-414A, because a fiduciary of an estate is required to make a final settlement no later than 5 years later after the appointment. And he can't contact the county commission to seek extra time if there's been a reason for the delay, but to my knowledge, Mr. Harbour has not done that. And he has not asked for that acceptance by the county commission. So therefore, the code makes actual statement that a fiduciary in such circumstances shall be removed. And while it's not a matter before the county commission at this time, basically he is personally liable for any loss or waste, and the code specifically mentions that such things can be a misdemeanor and shall be a misdemeanor actually. And the code also makes reference that the sheriff of the county then becomes the administrator. Now, I'm sure Mr. Herrod may have some things that he wishes for me to discuss with you about that, because obviously Mr. Herrod is concerned and would like to be associated with that, with the procedures. But basically, a huge problem is that we don't have any accounting. There's bank accounts, there's money, there's checks going in, and Mr. Herrod doesn't have any access, or neither do any of the other heirs, as to what's going on with that estate. And then the second thing that I'm here to address with the county commission today is that because of these unusual circumstances, 26 years that this has been open, can't get any responsibility or accounting, and with the fact that there's being deals signed left and right now for pipelines on the property without permission, without negotiation for pricing by the people that are entitled to the property, they are respectfully requesting at least Mr. Herrod is, that the estate administrator not receive any compensation. And when I reviewed the case law that was annotated in the Code of West Virginia pursuant to this section, it said that it is actually up to the county commission's discretion to decide whether or not there is going to be a commission, and that the county commission, when determining whether or not there should be compensation or reasonable compensation, that the county commission can weigh the character, scope, and efficiency of services rendered, whether or not he was a beneficial asset to the estate in carrying out his duties, and whether or not he was within the ordinary routine. And it would be our position that in such circumstance, this case is not ordinary. There's been an unusual amount of delay. We can't find anything out about it, and we're now concerned about pipeline right-of-ways across the family farm. So that is why we are here today. I have been in communication verbally with Mr. Harbert. He did know about the hearing today, although he didn't receive a lot of notice. He did know. He has been talking to me. I asked him for an address or a fax number to send this petition to, and I haven't received that yet. So
He did call this morning.
I figured he probably would.
Well, he said he wasn't able to be here yet to buy his funeral, so but they have to schedule a hearing.
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want me to?
Sorry.
I've never actually presented anything in probate court. I've argued in probate court, but I haven't presented, so I'll sit down.
No, that's okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm just trying to see how I'm going to make the motion for you. And what do I need to make the motion?
We have to schedule a hearing and on this matter, and I have to send certified notices to all the parties involved, advising them when that hearing is being put.
We have to decide.
So we have to schedule a hearing at this time.
Right here.
And does that have to be during our meeting, our regular meeting day?
Never finished the program.
Schedule a special meeting, or if you like.
Well, sounds to me like they need something done like immediately.
Well, and again, that's up for the county commission to decide. When I read the statute, it seemed to be that there was kind of not a lot up for debate when it came to removal of him based on the 5-year rule, which when we're dealing with 26. But again, if there needs to be a hearing, I don't know if you would want to enter an order that suspended him from, removed him immediately, and then we can have a hearing on it. I just don't know. He is receiving funds, and he told me on the phone that he received checks at least in the amount of $85,000 recently for the pipeline right-of-way. So I don't know if it would be possible for the county commission to go ahead and enter an order removing him, or if that's what you would prefer, to give him notice to come to a meeting to discuss it.
Well, we want to follow the law.
Yeah.
Whatever we need to do, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
You know? And I understand your case. I mean, I'm understanding it very thoroughly. And how do we proceed from here? That's what I want.
You can schedule a hearing as soon as you want. If you want to,
What?
I guess, issue an order temporarily suspending him at this time.
You can do that. I can prepare that.
You can do that.
Okay, I'll make that motion that we suspend him temporarily immediately.
And then have a hearing at the next county commission meeting.
That would be good.
Okay. And then we'll deal with it then. If he wants to appear,
Yeah.
he
that-
can. Do you want the notice then, Beth, to go to all of the heirs?
I need their addresses, so I
Yeah.
can send them out.
We've been working, Mr. Harbert's been working on getting that together.
Where's the farm located?
Where is the farm located? Mr. Harber?
Wiseman's Run.
Wiseman's Run?
Yeah, Wiseman's Run.
Which one? Would it be known as a Herrod farm or?
Yeah, it's a Herrod farm.
I know where
Right
it's
at the
at.
head of it.
I know where it's at.
Yeah.
How many
Of course
acres?
you do.
How many acres?
74.3 or 4, something like that.
Well, we'll have a hearing at our next meeting, is 21st. It starts 4 o'clock, our meeting does.
Okay, that's fine. Just let me know what time and I will be here. Is that okay with you, Mr. Herrod?
Yeah.
Okay. And and then I will provide notice unless, or are you providing notice back?
Are they still the same addresses that I have?
No, because it's been so long. Mr. Herrod
That's
is,
what I was putting.
I think, some of the people that are listed on the original list of heirs are deceased now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Virgil Herrod was deceased, he got a fourth.
We'll figure.
Melvin Herrod is deceased, he got a fourth. I got a fourth, my brother got a fourth.
We'll work it out. I'll have to go over the family tree with Mr. Herrod so
Because
that
the ones that's deceased, they're eligible.
I know, right. So, and I appreciate that. I do think it's clear that he has to be removed because he's not followed his duties, but we can talk about that on the 24th and 21st, and you can put your order out if that's acceptable then. And then I've never worked with the sheriff to administer an estate. I don't know how he normally handles that when he's appointed. I don't know if he would prefer to be a figurehead that oversees somebody else that's an heir. Do you know that, how he does that?
He's just usually appointed outright as the administrator of the state. And then his job is, since the commission can, I would think, maybe we have checked to know, and they asked Mr. Herrod to do another accounting for what he's taken in or done since he filed the last appraisal.
He should, and yes, I think it should be asked of him. Technically, he should have done that before he closed the estate anyway. And again, that's one of the primary concerns, is to see what's gone in and out and accounting. So, yeah, you can ask an order, you could order anything. I don't know if he'll comply with that, but I don't see why he would want to unless there was an issue that we'll probably be able to see, or at least if the sheriff is then, if there's a new order appointing the sheriff, then the sheriff can get into the bank records at that point. Is there anything else that the commission should need to know today before we have the final hearing?
No, other than I tried to buy the place, he refused. He was gonna sell to somebody else. He was gonna sign my name to the deed. I went to a lawyer, then he refused to sell it to me. Then he had it sold again, he called me in January, he had it sold for $80,000, which is $1,000, $6,060 an acre. He wouldn't tell me who was gonna buy it or anything. And he wanted to sell it with all these gas lines going through.
Yeah, right. I can tell you that he was most concerned about his fee, his settlement fee. So, as far as when I talked to him, he wanted to know what was going to happen with his fee, and I advised him to talk to an attorney as to what his rights were or weren't, because I'm not going to give him legal advice. So,
I think in turning in those things as soon as possible by the next meeting.
okay.
Should be turning, can they do that?
Yeah, I would believe it's in the county court's discretion to order that. I can prepare a temporary order for you today if you would like, and get that back over if you're going to be here till 4. And then I can ask that he, make an order that he's temporarily suspended so he cannot do any action. And I don't know what to put in it as far as whether, if he receives any additional checks, if things are already coming. I don't know whether he should hold it to somebody or turn it over to the sheriff or turn it over. I doubt that there's any more coming in from my conversation with him. And maybe we should ask him to appear and bring any of that with him.
And be prepared to bring all the bank records and any records that he has concerning this estate.
Okay, I will do that, and that he should appear.
Is that agreeable with you all? That he do that he be prepared to turn in all of his records and stuff that he has concerning this estate?
How many heirs are involved?
How many people do you think there's going to be that are not that are living? So the heirs of some of your siblings that have passed.
Well, there's a bunch of them there in the paper.
I think we're looking at least 10 people.
And there's 4, 6, 8 and between 10 and 12 probably.
From my reading of the statute, I would say that while they're definitely concerned with it, I don't know that they could stop the process of having the sheriff administer now. And I guess that's up to your all's discretion, but, so, I'll put in the temporary order then that he be suspended from acting as the fiduciary due to the petition that was presented to you all today, that he should bring all of the accounting and all of the paperwork for the estate and any documents he signed on behalf of the estate to the meeting on the 21st, which he's being given notice of.
And how about,
At 5:30 would work, okay. Is that good for you?
Yeah, right. Another thing, the property is usually the house and everything.
It's not for them, that's a civil, different
When you
civil.
refuse to sell to me, somebody had to have the order to bring the sale.
Yeah, right, that, yeah. And I guess the other thing is that I can also put in the order that the county commission will take up the matter of whether or not he's owed any sort of administration fee at that time and that date. You don't have any questions for